out like I'm Dolph, I'm moving keys with a Glock. Gotta keep the trap clean, I'm pushing peas with a mop. We don't do the debit cards, all my pockets filled with knots.
What up, guys? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. This is actually our NFL preseason pre-tier rankings to see where we think everyone's going to stand. It's not necessarily how many wins we think everyone's going to get. It's more of where we think they're going to be as far as contenders, and then maybe you're not that good, so we're going to put you at kind of shooting for that first round, our first number one overall pick. But we'll do another one the week of opening day season for actual wins. We'll go through the schedules, and it might be a little bit longer, but we're going to test this out, see what you think. We'll make the screens. We're each going to do a ranking of our own. So let us know who you got, what you think, and make sure to hit the subscribe and press the like button. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So go on with your first. Okay, I think you can move. All right, it doesn't matter. You could leave. We're going to kind of do Dallas at the end. So grab the Saints, and you can put them wherever you want. Our tiers are broke down into the 5 categories.
So I believe the Saints are. Whoa, didn't mean to put them in the middle of the missing playoffs. I think they're mediocre at best.
Okay.
I think they're a great team. Like with Derek Carr, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a top 15. But I think their defense isn't good enough.
Okay.
I don't think their defense is good enough to stop players from scoring.
And so we got Super Bowl favorites. We got teams we think will make the playoffs. We got teams that will just barely miss the playoffs or miss the playoffs entirely. Like maybe they were 8-9 or 9-8 or whatever. Then mediocre is basically below that. They really weren't shooting for the first round, our first overall pick, but they weren't really close to making playoffs, which he's basically saying the Saints are. And then you got those teams that are going to be jockeying for that number one pick overall, which is I think Caleb Williams.
Damn. yeah, pretty much. I think they could make a push to the next level, like the missing playoffs teams. Like they could be close, but I don't think right now, with the way their defense is set up, I don't think they can.
Okay.
Dolphins, I definitely have them making the playoffs.
So you like the Dolphins in the playoffs at the least, but they're not contenders.
No, I think they're the opposite of the Saints. I think they have a great defense with the 2 corners and who do they get from the Chubb? With those 3, that's 3 dynamic stars on the defensive end. Then you got Tyreek and Waddle. And if that quarterback could stay healthy, even if he don't, I think Mike White could push them to a playoff.
Okay.
I think that's where they're at. Ravens is the hard one. They could hit the missing playoffs, and they could be also in the playoffs. But I have my man missing the playoffs this year.
Okay.
I think a lot of drama happened over the offseason, a lot of stuff that's probably still going to whittle down to the regular season where they didn't want to pay him, he didn't want to play. I think that's what's going to –
But they're stuck with them.
But you know how that goes. You were like, these fools didn't want me. They kind of forced themselves to pay me. I think it's...
I mean, rightfully so. I think the Ravens made the smart move and paid the guy. Because, look, as much as I didn't want to sign Dak, and I still regret it till today, even though we signed Dak, Dak now has a very team-friendly deal.
Team-friendly deal.
Like, compared to Lamar right now, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow in the future, like
they had to sign Odell Beckham because they didn't have enough money to sign another wide receiver that was competent.
Yeah, so, they're still lackluster at wideouts.
Y'all are gonna think I'm crazy for this. I do not have them as a Super Bowl contender. I don't even have them as a playoff team.
Yeah, the Bengals falling out of the playoffs?
I think it's one of those years where they're trying to figure stuff out on the defensive end. They lost Eli Apple. Everybody gives the memes like, he's not that good. He's pretty good. Woozy, I think, was out for the season now. I think he got hurt during training camp. Their defense is like the Saints, and I think at best they missed the playoffs. They're like a 9-8 or whatever.
Okay.
The fuck. But they're gonna miss the playoffs. This team right here, though, is going to be a playoff team this year. I think Sean Payton and Russell Wilson with Jerry Jeudy is going to become elevated. It's going to be a Drew Brees, Marcus Colston, Sean Payton offense.
Okay.
Where they don't run it a lot. They pass more. But I think Russell Wilson is used to passing a lot of fucking times.
Okay.
I think they make the playoffs. And for the Giants, I also think they make the playoffs for 2 years in a row. I am on board with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley make it happen 2 years in a row.
Hopefully, because for Saquon's sake, he needs to make a big year splash because he's on that deal where it's like he's either going to re-sign again or he's going to go somewhere else. And another year of mileage could hurt him.
We have Minnesota Vikings. They won their division last year, but they missed the playoffs because I think it's one of those Kirk Cousins years where he plays like Kirk Cousins. I don't think he has the MVP caliber season like last year and the year prior. I think it's one of those years where he has to come back into reality.
Okay.
I like Kirk Cousins. I like Justin Jefferson. But I think their team comes back to reality and they miss the playoffs. So does the Rams. Rams missed the playoffs for the second year in a row.
But you're thinking they're still middle of the pack.
Yeah, they're still
They're
good.
They're
still
not
good.
sucky. They're not going for the number one pick.
No.
They're even better than most teams. Probably because middle of the pack, I would probably say
Yeah, I think
you're
they're
about. You're not. There's basically there's three sides to it. You got your 14 playoff teams, and then you have an additional probably 5 to 10 teams that just aren't that good. And then you have another 5 to 10 teams that are whatever.
Yep.
And they're in the middle.
They're right there. They could maybe make the playoffs. It's possible. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are a very good tandem. But who the hell do they have after that with those guys? They have Higbee as their next best person on offense.
I mean, who knows what
Cam Akers. I guess Cam
I think they
Akers
still
kind of
have
played good.
Allen Robinson.
Come
We all
on.
thought that was going to be something.
So yeah, and this is a weird one for me. They are in the South of the NFC, and I think they win their division with Baker Mayfield. I like Baker Mayfield. I'm a big fan of Baker Mayfield, and that offense is set up to fucking score points. And I think we seen in that where did he play last year? L.A.
The Rams.
L.A. last year, we seen he could put up decent numbers with a decent offense. And I think this offense is a little bit better. Obviously, Mike Evans does his thing, and Chris Godwin does what he does. But I think they have a chance.
Man, that's a big
So
surprise
with
right
that
there.
being said, the other teams in that South is either going to be somewhere on the bottom 3 of the list because I don't think they're making the playoffs. Detroit Lions, a team that was up and up last year. St. Brown lost Swift but drafted another running back. Jared Goff loves to play indoors. They win their division. They are finally that team that makes it over the hump after going 7s and 8s and 6s the last 3-4 years. I think they finally make it over the hump with C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming on. Who's their coach?
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell, a very good defensive coach, right? He's a defensive coach.
He's a defensive.
And I think their defense plays better than we ever seen with
they still have number
Hutchins.
one. Yeah, Adrian Hutchinson.
Yeah,
he's
so
still
I
number
think,
one pick.
I think they become a good defensive team, a top 10, maybe top
And
12.
arguably probably the best, if not top 3 best offensive lines in the league.
Yeah, Penny Sewell and all them are pretty
Yeah,
decent.
they got a good offensive line. So
Chicago Bears, a team I am not very high on. A lot of people like the Chicago Bears. I do not. I think they're mediocre at best, but I think Justin Fields wins them enough games that they're not fighting for that number 1 pick. Justin Fields is a winner, but it's just in the NFL, not a lot
do
of
you
teams
think
win.
this is the year for Justin Fields, to prove himself?
He's going to prove himself. I think so, but at the same time, I don't think he's
Up there.
He's not with the Ravens, Bengals. Those
Okay.
teams have proven themselves the last few years. Obviously, you can't make the playoffs every year. I mean, you can if you're Patrick Mahomes, but... So, with that being said, San Francisco 49ers, a team that's going to be the first time in the Super Bowl favorites.
Oh, okay.
A team that was a quarterback away from good into the Super Bowl. I think with the quarterback, they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Some people would say no, some people would say yes, but I think they would have won. With that being said, their defense is probably the best in the league. With defense wins championships, I believe that. And with the competent Purdy or Trey Lance, I think they're able.
Do you think they make a trade? Like they trade one of their guys, if not two of their guys?
I think they trade two. Sam Darnold's going to play good enough to get on another team. Maybe the Patriots, maybe like Washington, something like that. Maybe even Seattle. Maybe Geno Smith isn't playing as good as people want him to.
Okay.
So maybe on one of those.
So you think Sam Darnold potentially? What about Trey?
Trey Lance, I think he could get on a team. Maybe like, I would say Tennessee, but they got fucking 20 quarterbacks over there. Probably like the Falcons. They could go, he could go a Falcon team. They're a fast-paced offense, and he's a fast player, so maybe Falcons.
Okay.
Eagles, you are missing the playoffs, my friend. Not being biased, I am a Cowboy fan. I just think there's a team in that division that's going to make the playoffs that we are underestimating, and we've seen the Giants already made the playoffs with the division. So two of the other teams have to be out. It's just how it goes. Not all three. Three teams made it last year. It's not going to happen again. Okay. The Raiders, a team I like because I like Jimmy Garoppolo, but you are missing the playoffs. Defense is solid. Well, defensive line is solid at least. Offense, Josh Jacobs is unhappy. Devontae Adams seems like he wants to leave. Hunter Renfrow, can he stay healthy? You just lost Darren Waller. Your offensive line is not the best. You are able to win enough games to not be in the mediocre or best. Because at one point I wanted to put you there. I wanted to just throw you in the mediocre at best. But you'll be in the missing playoffs because I think Jimmy Garoppolo is enough. He's a winning. He likes to win enough to points where he gets you 8 wins, 7 wins. Barely misses the playoffs. Oh, the first and only team. Nah, not the only team, but first team I think will be going into the first round pick is the Green Bay Packers.
Man, you're low on the Packers.
I do not like the Packers. That's a personal preference, but I don't think Jordan Love is it. They were so hesitant to trade Rodgers, and that has me concerned that Jordan Love wasn't the guy. They also picked up another quarterback for whatever reason. I maybe just to have a backup, but maybe I'm overthinking it. But I do not think Jordan Love and Christian Watson and Aaron Jones puts them over. You know, I don't think I think they're back where they started. Washington Commanders. You are the second team making the playoffs. Nah, just kidding. You're mediocre at best.
I was like, dang.
You're mediocre.
These guys have a quarterback no one's even heard of.
Yeah, you're going Sam Howell, I'm sorry. Washington, I'm sorry. You're not making the playoffs. You're not even
I'm surprised they didn't make a push for somebody.
Yeah, Carr, Garoppolo.
Just somebody.
Zappy.
I don't know about Zappy, but I'm sure Rodgers went to mind. I mean,
yeah, John Dotson and Terry McLaurin.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a fan. I'm just saying between them and Atlanta, it was very head scratching to see that they didn't make a move.
Yeah, they just said, fuck it. Let's just run
yeah,
it.
like literally.
Maybe they're really trying to go for
Caleb. Yeah, like if that's not an indicator, I don't know what is. And even then, they're talking about the guy coming out of North Carolina. He's supposed to be potentially good too. And then even what's his name from Texas, not the Manning, but the actual starter this year, he's supposedly Heisman candidate. So there's guys, but I'm just like, I've not ever witnessed, I guess, at least I don't recall, a team literally not pursuing a quarterback.
Yeah, it happens from time to time, but like for 1 year you could have tried Carr out.
Because isn't Heineke now in Atlanta?
Yeah. I think so.
And even then, I'm like, why didn't you at least bring him back? He's a part of your system. Obviously, he's not a winner like Super Bowl contender or even playoffs, but you're literally going with some guy off the streets, I feel like.
Yeah, it's Kurt Warner all over again.
I'm curious where you got these guys.
Arizona Cardinals. No wide receiver. No tight end. Well, I guess you have Zach Ertz. He's fucking old. No running back.
You got James Conner. He's been good, pretty good for the last couple years.
No running. No running.
Okay,
back.
I mean, you're doing you.
And no defensive line.
Yeah, you lost J.J. Watt. You lost Chandler Jones the year before.
I am sorry. You're the second team going into the first pick.
Well, that makes it interesting if that were to come true because they got 2 first rounds right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were to get, let's say, top 5, let's say they're a top 5 pick, they could potentially trade Kyler Murray to get the number 1 pick and still have 2 more first-round picks.
Yep. And there's a guy that Charles offensive coordinator over there that has a lot of relationships with the Cardinals, and
He's in Cali right now. He's with us.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
With
he
the
has,
Trojans.
He has,
Oh,
he has
you're
ties.
meaning,
Yeah, he has ties.
but I don't know if he left on good terms with the Cardinals right
Shit.
now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a business, and I think
That's true.
I think
Like,
he's
hey,
like, yo, I got a guy that's probably way better than your guy.
probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just gonna go out there and say the Trojans about to be natty champs here this next
That's what
year.
I'm saying.
Bye.
I think he's gonna end up as an Arizona Cardinal.
I ain't
That's
even gonna
my-
be mad because that's like a 5-hour drive from here, and I wouldn't mind going and watching that boy play in the NFL.
Matt Leinart went to the
Like
Cardinals.
low key, I'm gonna say this, and
Kurt
I'm not.
Warner was a Cardinal.
I'm just gonna say this: if Caleb will win, not
Kurt Warner didn't go
if.
to. No, never mind. Carson Palmer, my bad.
Kurt Warner played for the Cardinals. He went
But
to
he
the
didn't
Super
play
Bowl.
for Trojans.
Oh no, he didn't play. He didn't even play college.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Once Caleb Williams comes into the league, right now Micah Parsons has been my
guy.
favorite
The guy,
player
yeah.
of like in the NFL. And obviously I even like Fred Warner from the Niners. There's guys. I ain't gonna lie though, there's not a quarterback in the league really that I like a whole lot. Like Justin Herbert is like my guy because I seen him coming. He played in the Pac-12. I ain't gonna lie though, when Caleb comes out, I don't care where he goes. I'm probably gonna cop. This will probably be my first jersey I cop that's not a Cowboy. Like, cause he's gonna be 2-time Heisman. He's gonna be 1-time Natty champ. He's gonna be a number 1 overall pick. He's go already.
Yeah, if he goes to the Cardinals, oh shit, I'll go watch him.
Hell yeah! And I bet you Dallas plays the Cardinals next year.
That'd be sick.
That'd be lit. All right, go for it. My bad.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay,
A
this
team-
is kind of a
Team
one
I-
of those toss-ups.
Yeah, a team I don't like. It's borderline. It's borderline playoff, missing the playoffs. But I have them missing the playoffs.
Well, that means one thing then. If you
Well-
guys are watching, what is that one thing? Comment
We
in
might
the
as well
comments.
just grab them now then.
I mean, that was inevitable, right? You had the other 3 teams missing the playoffs.
Hey.
So no one but the Browns are making the playoffs.
But I think that division's tough. It's
well, they beat each other up, that's for sure.
so I don't
Literally.
I don't think they either any of the teams that win the division. It could be the Browns. It could be whoever the fuck. I don't really care. I think they only win like 11 games, 10 games.
The Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
Oh, so
for
you
me.
think they get in, but like because by
barely,
default,
like barely.
Yeah, they just-
might have been the Steelers and the Bengals each twice, maybe once or something. Like
they split, but they had enough other games.
Yeah, maybe the Bengals had the same record, but they didn't.
because
Win
you
enough.
always kind of end up with that one division winner that's like sucky, and
So,
they
like,
get in.
So I think the Browns are. I don't think they're sucky, but I think they're the other part of the division still good enough to possibly make the playoffs.
Well, you look at those teams, and you could almost say, well, they could all split.
Yeah, I don't think the Steelers suck. I like the quarterback Kenny, and I like George NFL Pickens, and I like.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're
I like
good.
those guys.
That's a tough division, but you're right. Like, minus Pickett being the quarterback and coming off his rookie season, and Deshaun coming off of his like layoff. Like, that's a pretty stacked quarterback division. Like, Pickett's not a scrub.
That's the
we
best
could
4.
probably say that he's the quarterback of the Steelers of the future.
Oh yeah, easily.
Like, he's going to be there for quite some
He'll
time.
make his playoffs sometime, but not this year.
Right. Okay.
The Buffalo Bills.
All right, I'm curious to see what you got these guys.
I do not have him as a Super Bowl favorite.
Oh, wow.
What has he done as of late? He hasn't done
Well,
nothing.
he's made the playoffs in the last, like, 5 straight years.
Joe
Won the
Bur-
division,
Joe
I
Burrow
think.
went to the Super Bowl his like second year in. Come on, Josh Allen, prove me wrong and make it to like the Super Bowl.
Prove to me you're worthy of Madden cover,
That's
because
what I'm
frankly,
saying.
you're not.
That's what I'm saying. You weren't even in the top 10.
Shout out,
the
though.
top 10.
Take a pause. It's not a sponsor, but Madden comes out on August 18th. Anyone want to join our franchise league, let us know. You just have to have an Xbox One or a PS5 or a PC, and we can all link up. It's now cross-play. Shout out Madden for finally crossing over that platform of being having discretion towards the other console players.
2K, what the hell? Get it together.
I think eventually it's just going to happen.
Yeah,
and at that point, you're not going to lose sales. You're just going to have people that have preferences.
Because we all have that friend that has an Xbox or that friend that has a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Us right now, we have PCs.
Yeah, we're one of like very few people we know that have PCs. Everyone else has a PS5 or an Xbox. But it's like, I don't know. Can we... On Fortnite, you can do it, but Fortnite's like, they're literally the go.
They're probably the greatest game to ever fucking be made.
Probably. Well, anyways, if you guys want to join, let us know in the comments section.
Atlanta Falcons. We did talk a little bit about this team, and they did not make a move at quarterback that I thought was significant enough. They are going into a potential first-round pick.
ATL Caleb. Ooh.
That sucks.
I mean, they'll have
Drake and they'll
Kyle
have
Pitts, Drake London. He didn't get to play with Drake London, though. Who's that running back that they have?
Cordell Patterson or
No,
Algier.
Algier. He's not bad. Their line kind of sucks.
But
Defense kind of sucks.
that's what I'm saying.
Division sucks, though.
They got Terrell in the corner. The corner is probably one of the best corners in the league.
But their division sucks.
yeah, so you'll be
So
able
you
to,
would be like probably the best quarterback depending on how Love does.
because he's better than
Or Bryce Young does.
He's
I would
better.
say that.
He's better than Baker.
Yeah, and I think he'll be better than Derek Carr. Plus,
Yeah, he's
Derek
better
Carr's
than
on the
Carr.
back end of his career, and Love or Young. Gosh, Young just
Love
got
that
the.
fucking- He
I
only
don't
calls
know.
him Bryce Love, dog.
I don't know
why he
Who
calls him.
is Bryce Love?
I don't
Is he a YouTuber?
I know Bryce Hall.
Bryce Hall.
I know that fool.
Okay, anyways, that fool won in Bare Knuckles this
He
weekend
fucking
in Albuquerque.
Yeah, he pushed
Shout
up
out
over the ground and
Albuquerque.
made him hit his head.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bare knuckle fight, man. It's a street fight, essentially.
I see he was taking pictures with
You know what would be
Diego
cooler
Sanchez.
if they just did street fighting? Like they just went and picked the
WWE?
street.
Or they pick
No,
up
like
toys and
legit
shit?
just WWE, everybody surround. It might be there might be insurance policy you'd have to take out. Like if you had people making the ring and if you were to push up against them, they push you back in.
Oh, shit.
That'd be lit.
That'd be crazy.
Okay, anyway, so
See ya.
Atlanta top 1 pick, so okay.
Yeah, they're probably like top 2, top 3.
Okay.
I think they're one of the worst teams in the league. Seattle Seahawks. I do not have anybody winning their division. And I think they're the last team in their division.
Is it? You got no the Niners.
Oh, yeah, never mind. You know,
This one don't even know his division winners.
I didn't even see the top. That's why.
Okay.
I think Gino had his peak.
I mean, shout out Colin Coward. He always nails it. If you take someone's best season and take their worst season and take those 2 seasons out and then do an average of the rest of their career, that's the quarterback you have. Geno Smith's never had what he had last year.
That's what I'm saying. And the only good players they have is like their 2 wide receivers, and I think his name is Tyreek Woolen, the corner. Other than that, I don't know anybody else on the
I
team.
mean, I'll say this.
Oh, and the running back.
I don't even think depending on the quarterback play, I'll go out on a limb here. I would probably argue they have the best wide receiver core in the league right now.
Oh yeah, they got the rookie too,
That-
Nigeria.
Whatever his name is, his crazy name from Ohio State. They got Metcalf and they got Lockett. Like, and then Walker coming back, like as running back, he was a beast last year.
He was top 5.
So-
top 6.
If Gino can put it together somewhat, maybe, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think so. New England Patriots, another team that's going in the number 1 draft pick.
Oh, wow. Really? Mac Jones, huh?
I think it's the same thing with the, Seattle Seahawks. I don't think their quarterback play is going to be good enough. Their
I
defense.
mean,
might be
I've
good.
said that. Alabama quarterbacks have yet to prove anything. Mac Jones had the 1 season since then. It's been not very good. Tua hasn't been able to stay healthy. You could say Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts was not really from Alabama, and he played only 1 season there, and he won his Heisman in Oklahoma. So, in all respect to Alabama. I don't think you could claim that guy. That's like Joe Burrow getting claimed by Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't happening,
Maybe
dog.
the state of Ohio, but not Ohio State.
Well, no, he went to LSU. Like, that's not even close.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you could
Like,
claim, I don't know.
I just...
No, I think he's Ohio native. I think that's
Oh,
what
no,
he said.
yeah, he is from Ohio.
So Ohio probably claims it, but Ohio State.
Oh,
no.
they're loving him right now. He's LeBron right now of Ohio.
But back to this. The Texans also going into the last one.
Hold on. They got C.J. Stroud. They got a new coach. You
just named two things that aren't good.
So you don't think D'Amico Ryans being a previous linebacker from there, changing the culture, and then having I think C.J. Stroud is going to be what Deshaun Watson was when he came out. He was very elusive. He had an arm, accuracy. He was considered probably top 5 quarterback during his tenure. Now, I'm not saying he's going to make such a splash, but you're thinking they're going to be that bad?
Yeah.
Whew.
New
They got that Pierce, that running back Pierce.
Bro, name one defensive player on their team.
Well, I didn't pay attention to them. They were horrible last year. I couldn't even name their quarterback last year. I don't
Bro.
even know who their quarterback was.
Who's their wide receiver core?
Cutie, Will Fuller, and who's the other guy? I seen him the other day. But those two I know for sure.
Who's their number one?
Fuller.
How many seasons has he played that he didn't get injured?
Like maybe half of his career.
Come
I'm
on,
just
bro.
saying, man, we're okay.
And I respect D'Amico Ryans, a very good linebacker.
I just like different. When someone comes in with the culture, and
I don't think he has enough right now. I think it's better if they.
I'm not saying they're going to be Super Bowl.
I think it's better if they're closer to number 1 than they are to 10. In pick
so
wise.
you're okay.
In a
I
sense
see
where
what
they
you're
can
saying.
get a better player.
So
you know?
you're not thinking he's number 1 pick, but you're not. You're,
I think
you're just basically saying mediocre is like being to the point where you don't quite make the playoffs.
You're like the 20th best team in the league, pretty much.
Because missing the playoffs to me means
15th.
you were like a game away.
Yeah, you're like the top 15
Like
team.
you were the first out.
16 team.
And mediocre means you weren't even the first out. You just didn't have a chance. But you're not. You won too many games where
You're not in that
You're not
last-
in the top. But see, that's where I'm saying like you're saying they're not number 1, but they didn't get close to making the. Okay, I guess
They're not close. They're
You
closer,
guys make sense of that.
They're closer to 1 than they are to like where I'm here is like 10,
Okay.
11.
So these guys probably have like 6 wins, and they probably got like
4
4
to 3.
5.
Yeah, something around
Okay.
that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think he makes a splash like Justin Fields at the end of the year. Like, we're like, oh shit, this kid's gonna be.
Okay, that's fair.
This kid's fucking sick.
I hope he's sick. I mean, I guess I don't hope. I have a hunch. I just think he's gonna be a good player.
We have the reigning Super Bowl champs. They're going to the number 1 pick. Fuck Patrick Mahomes. Not just fine. They're Super Bowl. I don't care.
You just can't argue it
Yeah,
right
fucking-
now.
yeah,
like, how
he's-
do you not let them be up there?
He's one of the GOATs right now. He's literally young kids that are getting born right now are gonna be like,
Well, that's what they're saying. Caleb Williams right now. Like, they're literally saying Caleb is the closest thing we've seen since Patrick Mahomes has been in the NFL that looks like him.
Yeah.
And the only other thing they said, and I am not saying this, but professional, either analysts, commentators, or scouts are saying he might even be more like defined
Early
in the sense of comparison to Patrick Mahomes.
So Patrick Mahomes took a couple years to develop.
But he had everything. But like Caleb's like, he's got the ability to move. He's got arm strength. He's got footwork. He's got intelligence. He's, all these things. So
I'm gonna move Dallas to the last. We're gonna
Okay.
move them last. The Los Angeles Chargers, a team I think will not make the playoffs. We have the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs already making playoffs. So I think it'd be hard for 3 of them to make the playoffs.
Okay.
We've seen it last year, but we've never really seen it other than that. They missed the playoffs. And I think my opinion, he has a total different opinion. I think Kellen Moore degresses Justin Herbert's development. I think it makes him worse. I think he
Okay.
limits Justin Herbert to a point where Justin Herbert's not Justin Herbert. He's just playing like how Kellen wants everybody to play, like his style of play.
Okay, that's fair.
I like when Ben Roethlisberger was playing with the Steelers, they let Ben Roethlisberger kind of run his offense and kind of do his thing, and I think that's where it's going to become a problem where Herbert's not going to be able to actually develop his game to another level. He's only been in the league like 3 years, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, this was like his 4th year just this past
So he's
season.
still a young quarterback. Yes.
Oh no, he's got a lot of time ahead of him. He's gonna be there for a long
Ooh,
time.
a fun team. A team I wish they would put Sauce Gardner on the offense for a couple drives.
They might, you don't know.
And with that being said, they are a playoff team.
Okay.
And I said it's hard to get 3 teams to make the playoffs, but I think this is the 3. The Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
I
3 teams, huh?
I think so, man.
Who do you have winning that division? Just kind of, obviously we're going to do one more, and things can change, guys.
Tunga Bailoa.
You think the Dolphins got enough to win that division?
They're almost to a point I almost put them in the Super Bowl thing.
Oh, wow.
But they were too early in the thing where I'm like, there's too many really good teams later on that I might even still push them up to a playoff team,
Okay.
depending on the last couple of teams right here. Which
Okay.
I don't see anybody that's probably a playoff team, so I'm just or a Super Bowl team. So I'm gonna push them up. That's a 3.
So you got Miami and the Chiefs probably playing championship.
Yeah, and NFC, I have the San Francisco 49ers right now whipping everybody's ass because I think they're a better team.
They're just the better team of everybody in the NFC. Okay.
And after I'm done, I'll probably put another NFC team up there just to make it interesting.
Okay.
The Bryce Love, a.k.a. my boy Bryce Young.
Bryce, a.k.a. Love Young.
I also think they are bottom. I do not think that young kid's going to have enough to help them. They lost Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. They lost.
They did lose DJ Moore.
They lost a lot of players that I don't even know who's their wide receivers right now. I could not fucking name one.
Adam Thielen.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. I guess that's not number 1 though. But
He's not number 1, but he's not bad.
He's-
He's like Cooper Kupp. I would say he could be at number 1.
he's,
If he emulated Cooper Kupp,
He's a
but I
little
guess
old.
he's just not as good of a route runner.
he's just a little old too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're bottom. It's hard to say for them. I mean, it depends on the young and it depends on Stroud at the end of the day because they're the leaders of those 2 teams. But in my opinion, when's the last time we've seen a rookie actually make a big
Matt
splash?
Jones.
Yeah, that was pretty
He
good.
won and he went to the playoffs.
But he also had the Belichick.
I don't know. Not very many rookies. Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah,
That was just last year.
I guess maybe possible shit.
There are rookies.
Hey, prove me wrong, one of y'all too. Shit.
All right. You got a full division pretty much right here. I don't even know. Do you have anyone winning this division
No,
yet?
there's 3 left.
Oh, okay.
They're all 3 right here. Tennessee Titans, mediocre. I don't know who the is going to start.
Tannehill. They already said, like, he's most likely going to be the starter. Now, unless, what's his name? I haven't heard anything about Will Levis. And then I still don't know what's up with their other quarterback they drafted last year. I forget his name.
Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah, Malik. What's the heck? Malik Willis.
Ryan Tannehill is.
Okay.
I think they missed the playoffs.
Okay.
They do have a good core in Henry and DeAndre. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's good. But the controversy behind the quarterback situation is going to be too much. Mike Vrabel is a very good coach, but can he overcome the point where you're fighting a 3-way battle?
That's true.
That's where
Unless
San
you
Fran's
just
gonna be.
name somebody, just let it be.
Yeah, but you just drafted Will Levis with like the 17th pick. Like,
No, he was in the second round. Remember, he sat there
he
forever?
sat there forever. But then he's drafted Malik Willis with like the 6th pick last year or whatever.
That's true.
Like, come on, bro. What are y'all doing over there?
They're not sure.
Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis ugly jersey Colts.
Just one ugly jersey. But yeah, that's ugly.
I seen your debut, and y'all are good. You're probably even lower tier, but I think your defense is good enough to keep you afloat, man.
It just lost Stephon Gilmore. Jonathan Taylor said that he might report to camp this week.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
So
the Jonathan.
that's
And your line sucks. You're going back down. I forgot. Your fucking line sucked last year. Jonathan Taylor was taking a beating all year because he couldn't freaking block for him. And I don't like I like Anthony Richardson, but what I seen the first what was it yesterday or day before or whatever it was, I can't rock with the kid right now until he proves me wrong. And now we go to the kid that I think is gonna be up there with Mr. Patrick Mahomes one day. He's making the playoffs. He's winning that division.
All right. And then you got Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys.
The homer, the final stretch. What is it? Where are they?
They are going into the first round pick. I think
Dang.
Dak Prescott throws 45 touchdowns and 45 picks.
He
Jameis
could-
Winston.
I think he could only wish.
Nah, just kidding. They're making the playoffs. I think their defense is going to be a number 2, number 1 defense in the league, and I think Dak's mediocre play is helped by the defense, getting turnovers with Gilmore and Diggs and Micah Parsons and D. Law. I think that's going to be the focal point of our team is going to be our defense. Our defense was good last year. We added a couple pieces, and I think they're going to be even better than they were last year. We were lacking a second corner. Now we got a number 1 corner and number 2 corner, and I think our defensive line is going to prove us to be the better team. With that being said, I will put the Detroit Lions. Oh, you're good. I'll just say it. Detroit Lions are going to go to
You think you're going to put him?
to the Super Bowl contender.
Man, Detroit for the Super
Dan
Bowl?
Campbell, Jared Goff, Super Bowl contender.
So right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You only have 5 NFC teams making it. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 AFC. So you're missing 2 wild cards or whatever you want them to be.
Well, there's a couple of teams in the Missy playoffs that could go up, I guess.
Okay. Like you basically have Eagles, Rams, and Vikings, and you need to pick 2 out of the 3.
Vikings and the Rams.
So you have Eagles for sure making the play or missing,
Yeah.
and the other 2 potential.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys seen it here. You see what he did. How can I reset these? Oh. Okay. All right. As I'm doing this, talk about something.
So you really high on CJ Stroud and Bryce Young?
I think, not Young per se. I want to see more. But when it comes to Stroud, again, I don't think he's going to be super elite right away. I just think he's going to be elite eventually. Like, not maybe elite's extreme. He's going to be like, we're going to argue like we do Dak sometimes top 10.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, he may not be able to do this and that, but he's really good. Like, he's the playoff team consistently.
So next season we're gonna have him like as like Justin Fields this year. Everybody's like, oh, he's gonna be like a top 6 quarterback.
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm going to try to make this quick because we kind of talked a lot about everybody, essentially. He did, I guess. I'm just going to give it a quick rundown, okay? Dallas to the end. I'm going to do this a little bit differently so I can kind of stay. I'm going to go by division. So I'm going to start with the Dolphins division. So I have Dolphins. I just don't think Tua is going to be able to stay healthy. I just think he's too small. He's going to get hit. It's unfortunate. I think when he plays, they're truthfully a playoff, maybe even a contender. But because he can't stay on the field, it really dampers their style, and I think that's going to end up hurting them in the end. So I think they get close, but they're going to miss the playoffs. Moving on, I got Buffalo. I think they do make the playoffs. They are a playoff team, but like we mentioned earlier, Buffalo with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, we've seen it before. They've ran it for multiple years now. They're a consistent playoff team, but they are not a Super Bowl contending team. They've only made it to the AFC Championship once, and since then they've been out of the playoffs every round before that. So I just don't think they have enough to be contenders. Now who's the next one? Jets. This is interesting. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like the defense though more of the Jets. Now, it was a little misleading for the Jets because they played Kenny Pickett. They played Tua's backup. They played a lot of teams that weren't that good. But one thing that's for certain, Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a quarterback. He's proven that year in, year out. I think he's got one good year. He seems rejuvenated. He seems on another level. him and Sauce Gardner as homies. I can only imagine how he's clicking with the wideouts. They're thinking of bringing in Dalvin Cook. Even if they don't, they have Bryce Hall. They have Michael Carter. Like, they got some guys. So I know this might sound crazy, but I'm going Super Bowl contender right now. I think the Jets are right there. They were a quarterback away last year, and they couldn't have gotten a better quarterback.
They don't have Michael Carter no more. They had the guy from Jaguars that was the backup to ETN.
So where'd Michael Carter go?
I don't know.
Oh, well, either way. I thought they had another running back, though, before Brees Hall and after Michael Carter. Wasn't there a guy you had on your team and he got hurt on your fantasy team?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's another guy, but I don't remember who it is. New England. I'm going to be honest. I think they're fighting for the number 1 pick. I think this might be the last year for Bill Belichick. Calling it right now, I think this is the time that the Patriots are going to be taking a very, very big step backwards. Lost Tom Brady, and it's only been, a whirl of torment for them. They're not that good. They're not contending. They've ran through quarterbacks. Last year they benched Mac Jones, put Zappy. It's weird. Mm-hmm. I think it's done. It's time to start all over. And just going to put this out there. Keep this in mind. Jim Harbaugh may be the guy that I see ending up in New England after next year. Just letting you guys know. There you guys have it for the AFC East. Now I'm going to go with the Chiefs division, AFC West. There's no doubt about it. The Chiefs are the best. They've been the best. They're just a really damn good team. Broncos. I like Sean Payton. I like what he's doing. It's a little weird that he's attacking Aaron Rodgers, coaches, but I also like I mentioned on his, I like when people have a culture. He has a way of doing things. I think he's going to pull the best out of Russell Wilson, and they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a really good team. They got one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the league. I think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're more than that, but I definitely think we look at Russell Wilson under an actual system, not trying to be whoever he thought he was going to be last year, and I think they're going to show how good they could potentially be next year.
Yeah, I haven't heard no Bronco Country. Let's ride this year.
Let's go.
So I haven't heard it this year. So
Chargers. I love Justin Herbert, man. I think he's one of the best. I think he can be one of the best for many, many years to come, maybe another decade or so. And with Kellen Moore, I think, for instance, Dallas lost something that was very important to Dak Prescott's career. I think he's going to have Justin Herbert that can sling the ball and put it in tight spots that Dak Prescott couldn't do. And for that, he's going to elevate Justin Herbert to a new level, but only a level of playoff. They're going to probably get a playoff win, but that's about essentially it. It's not, they're not going to make a run. They're not going to be championship potentially, but I think they get at least one win. That puts 3 teams.
And you have 5.
Yes,
So
I
you have
know.
one division
I
left.
have 2 divisions left. I have the North and the South.
So just one team.
Yes, exactly. So obviously you're thinking, well, what about the Raiders? The Raiders, I think they're mediocre at best. Jimmy, like he said, he is a winner. But depending on what Devontae Adams does, I think he ends up probably asking for a trade. He probably even ends up on the Jets. That's probably going to be like my random call of the day. Josh Jacobs, I don't think ends up probably completing the season. He probably looks to try to get moved as well. And so I think I don't think they're going to suck. I just don't think they're going to be really good. I think they're like 5 wins, 6 wins, maybe around there. Okay, now let's just go to an easy division. Let's go to the Colts division. I think the Colts, they're going to be mediocre. I think Anthony Richardson's okay. Him and Jonathan Taylor get it together. Michael Pittman's not a horrible. Alex Pierce is pretty decent. They're okay. They're not playoff contenders. They don't even slightly miss the playoffs. They're just okay. Tennessee. I'm not sure where to put them. It's very hard to really know.
That seems weird.
It's so weird. I wish we had one just called Tennessee Titans and put them in there.
That's why I said earlier. Remember, I was like, we got to put Tennessee Titans in the
I don't
fucking
think
thing.
they're going to suck either. I just don't think that they're that good.
Yeah.
Like, they're just in the middle.
That's why I said before we recorded, we should just put a line that says Tennessee Titans because
Houston.
they're fucking weird.
Again, I don't think that they suck. I just don't think that they're good. I think they're okay. These quarterbacks here, these three rookies, they're going to show themselves, and we're going to see what we have, and I think at that point you're going to know. Obviously, I have to have a division winner. I'm high on Trevor Lawrence. I will almost say they might even have the number 1 seed. Does not mean they're going to be a contender. It just means their schedule favors them in various ways. So I think they're going to be a good team, not a great team. And so for that, they end up winning their division, making the playoffs. Now, we talked about this. There's this division here. It's a little weird. It's pretty strong, beat up. I'm going to start here because I like Joe Burrow a lot. I think he misses the playoffs. I don't like that he's not healthy. We've seen Kevin Durant have this kind of injury. It ended up resulting in an Achilles. If I was JB, I'd seriously take as much time, even if it means missing the first 2 to 4 weeks of the season, just to make sure you're right. If he does miss 2 to 4 weeks and they don't do too well right now, I think that could end up hurting them trying to make up so much ground. So I'm going to put them just slightly out. They're going to be like 1 game out. They're just barely going to miss the playoffs. And yeah. The Ravens, I also think they're going to miss the playoffs. I just don't think having all that drama on the offseason, thinking OBJ, the drama queen, comes in and solves all of that. You never really have a healthy running back. Mark Andrews has always been your number 1 target. Your defense is not what it used to be. I just think there's too much there, and I like Lamar Jackson, but I think it's too much for him to carry. Yeah. It's going to be just too much. They're just going to slightly miss the playoffs by maybe a game or 2, and that's it. Now it leaves me with
2 teams.
The Steelers, which I don't not like, but I don't like per se, and the Browns. Well, one of them's got to win my division. Who do I think's better? Do I think the Steelers is better, or do I think the Browns are better? Do I think the Steelers have a better defense? Yeah. Do I think the Browns have a better quarterback? Definitely. Do I think the Browns have a better offense? By far. I just think the offense with the Myles Garrett and what they do have, they're good enough to win this division and make their entire rest of their division miss the playoffs.
That's exactly what I have.
I don't have Kenny Pickett getting over it yet. I think he's the future because he showed waves of being a great quarterback in this league. He's just not ready to be a playoff quarterback, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just he's not there yet. So now I'm going to move on to the NFC. I'm going to just, since Detroit's right here, let's see what we got. I'm going to go, they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're good enough. I like Jared Goff. I've always talked fond of him. I've even said when he's inside a dome or he's in Cali or Florida, he's probably a top 10 quarterback. If you're going to have a fantasy league and you have Jared Goff, my advice to you would be start him in those circumstances. Start him when he plays at home. Start him when he plays in another dome. Start him when he plays in a clear sky, no wind, no middle of December New England weather. He's great. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. I just think they're good enough to make the playoffs. Okay.
Both agreed on the playoffs.
The Minnesota Vikings, I do like them. I don't like that they lost Dalvin Cook, but one thing's for certain is every time Dalvin Cook's been hurt, Madison's been able to step up. Mm-hmm. They didn't get any worse. I don't think so. Yeah, I think that they're, again, another playoff team. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs and be that team that, you know what? I lied. They're not, because they are. They're good enough.
Damn.
Justin Fields is a badass. DJ Moore is sick. And I think you're going to have Mooney coming off with DJ Moore being number 1. And you're going to have a couple running backs. And Fields is elite. And I think this is the year he kind of shows his Lamar side. Maybe even carries him into a playoff, like, not run, but like, they're like, dang, this team is, he could be MVP.
Yeah.
So I like Chicago. I don't like Green Bay. I don't like Love. I don't think that they're that good.
Yeah, I put both those teams in the same place.
I just think Green Bay, I think with as little that we've seen of Love, it's very concerning. Like, why would you not show any film? Why would you not play him more? When the season was practically over last year, why didn't you just start him for the rest of the season? You could have then pursued a quarterback in the offseason if you knew Aaron Rodgers was going to probably leave anyways. So I just think Green Bay is not that team. We're going to go to this division, the Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. I'm going to tell you now, I don't like the Bucks. I just think that they're not that good. I think Baker Mayfield has had his times. This is not one of them. It's just not a good year. I think the Saints are the second best team in this division. I think the Saints are fairly good with Derek Carr. They're not great. At least they got a good quarterback now. It's not Jameson Winston. It's not quarterback tight end Tyson Hill or whatever. Like, it's a quarterback, but everyone's saying the resurgence of Michael Thomas. I'll believe it when I see it. I think they just slightly missed the playoffs. Atlanta, I'm be honest, man, you messed up, man. You didn't go get a real quarterback. You went and got Tyler Heineke. That's not a real quarterback. He's a quarterback that can maybe win you a couple games, but just like Mariota last year, it's not going to be enough. You're going to end up bottling down, and that's it. Carolina, though, this is one of those instances that I see a rookie carrying his team, and it's not because he's that good, but I think it's because their defense was really elite at the end of the season. So I think their defense is going to beat up on the rest of their weak division and get just enough wins. I think they barely get in with like 9 or 8 wins. Like, they might even finish 8 and 9 and still make the playoffs. So that's where I'm going to put those teams. So I got a good amount of teams left. I'm just going to throw this team up there. If you don't know, now you know. I just think they're the best team in the NFC right now. I just think that they're super elite. They're super good. I don't see them being any worse than what they were last year. I don't think the Rams want to win. I don't think the Rams like winning right now. I think they messed up everything. I think Sean McVay's plan of trading every pick and getting rid of all your players and bringing in big players just didn't work out, and it's showing. You got a Super Bowl, and if I was Dallas and you did this, I'd be happy because we won a Super Bowl. But this is what happens. You end up essentially losing everything, and that's just the way it goes. Now it comes to Cardinals and Seattle. I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Cardinals suck because of Kyler Murray. They're not going to be that good. They're not playoff even close, but they're not number one. I think Kyler Murray is super good. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for another team someday, but this ain't going to be his team. That leaves me with Seattle. Obviously, I have to have another team or so because I can't have too many. I think they end up going back to the playoffs. But I don't think it's because Geno's playing super good. I just think it's going to be hard for them to lose. Like, you're going to go against the Cardinals twice, the Rams twice, and then you're going to have some gimmies. Not saying a gimme is a gimme, but I think he's in this system and he looked fairly good that he's good. Like, he's just good. He's not going to be this sick quarterback. I don't think they win a playoff game again.
So 2 out of the 4 making the playoffs here.
Right here, I got 2 teams making the playoffs. And I'll tell you one team that is not making the playoffs. It's the Washington. I just don't think they messed up, man. They really did mess up. I think it is what it is. I'll give you... Okay, I'm just going to put it this way. I'm a big believer in the whole, you go to the Super Bowl, you lose, and you're on a Super Bowl slump. That's the Eagles, man. I don't think that they make the playoffs. I just think that they're going to think that they're better than what they were. Their schedule favored them really well last year. I want to say they had the easiest schedule of the entire league last season, and of course they went like 14-3 or whatever it was. So I just think they're going to take a step back, miss the playoffs just slightly, and
also, one of these 2 teams are looking like they're going to be a Super Bowl favorite.
I think there's going to be a team here that's a Super Bowl favorite. And it's not Dallas. It's the Giants. Everyone's talking stuff about Daniel Jones, but I think bringing in Darren Waller, being able to work a deal with Saquon Barkley, which I think he's going to want to prove his worth, and he's going to run like a madman. Their line isn't the best of the best, but it's not horrible. I think they got good enough weapons. Their defense was very promising at the end of last season. They even went into Minnesota and won a game last playoff, and I think they're able to make that over the hump and beat a Detroit, a Chicago, a Carolina, one of these teams that are barely going to get in. I think Dallas is kind of like, who did I say earlier that their offense? Oh, it was like the Seattle. It's almost too hard for Dak to lose the games where we don't make the playoffs. But like Kellen Moore for the Chargers, I think Dak's going to see what it is without him, and he's going to have to throw more, which I think is going to hurt him. And we're going to see a Dak that's not very... He's going to look worse than what he's looked in the past, but it's going to be just enough. Because the rest of the league is going to be like, well, this ain't good. So he'll make the playoffs. I think we end up at like 9-8, 10-7. That's where I'm going to put Dallas. And I think for me, I'm already over the Dak situation. I think if he can't win a playoff game, honestly, no, it's not even a game. I think if he can't get us to the NFC Championship, then we ought to look somewhere else. I don't know what.
With this list, it doesn't look like they're making the NFC Championship.
No, I just don't think so. My two surprises are the Giants and the Jets, two New York teams. I think the Chiefs are still the best team in the league, and I think the Niners are the best team, at least in the NFC. And I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. I think that would be awesome. That'd be it is like Patrick versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It'd be one of those moments that you're going to tune in and you're going to be like,
wins?
If I were to pick a winner right now.
Out of those two right now. Those two teams.
I just think the Chiefs are better. I just think Patrick Mahomes is too damn good, man.
And then he plays Daniel Jones, or?
Nah, I think we have a rematch. Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl.
Damn.
Yeah. And who knows? At that point, I don't know. I don't even know who I'd go for. I'd probably have to go for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes. I don't like the
but I just don't want them to keep winning.
I do. Well, they win 4 more. I don't give a fuck.
I guess. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a little bit of a different... We haven't done any sports stuff, so hopefully that was kind of fun. It was fun for me. I felt like I was kind of evenly spread. I had a few...
You have a lot of weird teams in there.
One thing that I've learned is there's always those teams that didn't make the playoffs the year before that make it, and the teams that made it the year before don't make it. So,
well, Detroit made it. Seattle made it. Dallas made it. Giants made it. 49ers made it.
But Chicago didn't and Carolina didn't. The Browns didn't. The Broncos didn't. And the Jets didn't. That's 5 new teams.
That's true.
Out of 14, that means 9 returning. So, we'll see what happens, guys. Who do you guys have? Where do you guys, did you like it? Would you like to see more tiers, less tiers? Let us know in the comment section. But till next time with the Beard Bros, peace.